Welcome back to Carolina This Week. Joining me now is State Representative Stephen Goldfinch, who is running for re-election in District 108, covers parts of Georgetown County, small part of Horry County, I believe, stretches down to around into Charleston County, along the coast, kind of hugs the coast there.
Mount Pleasant. I don't have any of Horry anymore, but it's just Georgetown and Charleston County now. More of Charleston.
Pawleys Island,
Litchfield
Beach,
yep.
Georgetown.
All the way to McClellanville, all the way to Allendale, through Allendale into Mount Pleasant.
You're running against Vita Miller, who previously held the seat. I think it was drawn a little bit differently when she was there.
Right.
But let's start off and talk about the race. It is a contentious race.
It is.
Recently, it's been brought up that the federal government was considering charges against you.
Yeah.
You said that that's not happening. Didn't happen.
Yeah. This is an old issue. This is from a decade ago when I owned a company in Charleston. I owned a biotech company in Charleston over a decade ago. And we focused on basically proving the efficacy of umbilical cord blood stem cells over that of embryonic. Embryonic is very controversial and ethical. We never went there. So we wanted to prove the efficacy of umbilical cord over embryonic. And unfortunately, one of our lab techs went awry. He started selling umbilical cord cells without our permission behind our back. And the federal government ended up charging him. Unfortunately, they have a rule in the books that says if you are the owner of a company or the manager of a company, you're ultimately responsible for what your employees did. I took responsibility for it because of that. I didn't know he had done it, and the government has admitted that. But I took responsibility for it anyway and said, yeah, if you guys decide to go forward, I'll plead guilty. Thankfully, it was just a misdemeanor, and they were recommending probation. But, you know, they never decided to go forward. So they have my opponent has made an issue of that. They've tried to turn me into something that I'm not. They've tried to turn me into a felon of some kind. The truth is it was a misdemeanor, and they never went forward on charges. And the truth is I never even knew that the crime happened. So, yeah, if they decided to go forward today, I'd still plead guilty to the misdemeanor and to the probation, and we'd move on. But that really has little to do with my ability to serve the people of my district.
We've talked about that. I'm going to give your opponent, Vita Miller, a chance to address it. Let's move on now, talk about the issues.
Okay.
Let's start off and talk about probably the two biggest things that are facing any politician running for office in South Carolina or anywhere in the country for that matter right now: infrastructure and jobs.
Yeah.
Let's start off with jobs. Georgetown County, Cam, is pretty hard hit in some areas, a lot of people without jobs.
Yeah.
What do you do from a state level to bring jobs into Georgetown County? I imagine the port plays a big deal in that.
The port does play a big deal in that, and one of the key campaign issues that I'm trying to run on is effectiveness. The Post and Courier, unfortunately for us, for many, many years, rated my opponent as one of the least effective legislators in Columbia, among the least effective. I was rated by South Carolina BIPAC, that's Business and Industry Professionals, and South Carolina Chamber as among one of the most effective legislators in Columbia, even in my freshman term. As an example, I went to the chairman of Ways and Means, who I've developed a relationship with, a very important guy in this state. He's the one that holds the key to the purse strings, and begged him for what we call a line item, put us some money in the budget to get that port dredged. That port is a lifeline to Georgetown, really a lifeline to South Carolina, bringing in and out goods, break bulk goods, and producing jobs. It is an investment for South Carolina, and went to him over and over and over again, Mr. Chairman, please give us that money we need for Georgetown. And we got it. We got it. And to be quite frank with you, I don't think a Democrat could do that. Democrats can be successful in the Senate because of the structure of there, but in the House, it's very, very difficult to advance a Democrat agenda in the House, especially in a Republican budget. So, you know, as far as effectiveness goes and as far as the port goes, we achieved what we needed to achieve with the port this year, which was sustaining, not just sustaining, but growing and getting the money that we needed for the port. And now the only thing we're looking towards is the local match. We've done what we were supposed to do for the port from a state level. Now all we need is that local match, and the port's going to get dredged, and the jobs will be here.
Your district comes up right on Charleston. Mm-hmm. Boeing having a presence in Charleston.
Right.
Are you hoping to get any more of the benefits of having Boeing so close into your district?
We are. I've been traveling quite a bit lately in hopes of bringing jobs to South Carolina. Myself and Representative Alan Clemens from the Myrtle Beach area have traveled all over the place lately. Just recently, we were in Louisiana, traveled there twice in the last month to Louisiana to talk with representatives down there from multinational corporations about coming to Georgetown. There's a lot of exciting opportunities to Georgetown. A lot of it revolves around Boeing and potential suppliers for Boeing. A lot of it revolves around simply dredging the port. If we can get the port dredged, we can move jobs into Georgetown that would have never previously been contemplated there. But yeah, Boeing is a really exciting opportunity for all of South Carolina. My focus right now is looking for distributors and suppliers for Boeing that are willing and able to move to Georgetown. But we have to have the fertile ground, so to speak, in order to get them there. That means lower taxes and less regulation, ease of access to an interstate.
Well, that moves us into infrastructure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about infrastructure for
Okay.
a minute. You have 17 that goes right down the middle of your district.
Right.
And if anybody who's driven that road down to Charleston knows it could use a little bit of work.
It can.
And we need an interstate.
Yes.
So from a state level, how do you try to get the feds moving to get an interstate here? Or do you just try to get going on state money? What's the plan?
Well, myself and Alan Clemens have been, I keep mentioning Alan. Alan is my desk mate, but Alan is the chairman of the I-73 project. I firmly believe we have to have I-73 here, but we also have to widen 521. 521 is on the very southern area of for this viewing area. But basically, that is a road that connects downtown Georgetown and the port. It terminates at the port with I-95. The widening of that to 4 lanes would put us in the bidding for lots and lots of corporations and industry that are interested in the area. So we've got to have I-73, we've got to have 521 4-lane, and we've got to have the port dredged. If we can get those things accomplished, we are really primed for good job growth around here.
Last thing I want to talk about, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but fireworks in Murrells Inlet became an issue over the summer, and the trash that's left behind. You kind of stepped into it a little bit, tried to mediate it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the situation? What's going to resolve it?
I've been trying to mediate that issue for 2 years now. It's an ongoing saga, but you've got 400 or 500 residents that live in downtown Murrells Inlet that are very angry about commercial grade mortars being set off over their homes. Every Monday night at 9 o'clock, you've got babies sleeping and dogs that are scared to death, and you've got a lot of trash that's being put in the inlet. So, what do we do about that? I understand that the restaurants and the bars around that area that sponsor the fireworks bring a lot of tax dollars to Georgetown County. So I'm hoping that we can come to some kind of resolution. The resolution we mentioned last year, that we tried to mediate last year, was that they would only shoot those fireworks the 3 major holidays. Unfortunately, they went back to going every Monday night, and now the residents are mad again. Thankfully, it's going to be coming up in front of a judge here in a couple of weeks. The judge is going to rule whether or not they're in violation of a noise ordinance. It's in his hands at this point in time. There are some talks at the state level about the legislature stepping in and actually making Murrells Inlet into a bird sanctuary. I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet. I think there could be some unintended consequences to that, but I'm willing to look at it and see if that's something that the parties can agree on. But something has to be done. We can't continue. I don't think we can't continue to have commercial grade mortars shot over people's houses every Monday night during the summer. Hopefully, we can come to a resolution.
Last question. You only have a few seconds for it, but why should I put you back in office if I'm a voter down there?
Yeah, if you're a voter down there, the district has changed tremendously. The district is now a very Republican district, somewhere in the range of 70% Republican. A Democrat just does not represent that district anymore. The people in the district want lower taxes, less regulation, more jobs, a diversified economy, and I think a Republican is well suited to do that. A Republican is well suited to advance that Republican budget, to advance the Republican agenda, and is well suited to represent the people of that area.
All right. Representative Stephen Goldfinch, Republican, running for re-election District 108. Thanks for being with me.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.